Good afternoon. It's Leanne Peters here. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I'm here to pull some cards and share some guidance for the 8th and the 9th of February. That's Thursday and Friday. So welcome. I want to send out a big extra welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons for February, my Pillar of Light members, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for your support. So I'm coming to you live now from Tasmania, Australia, where it is Thursday the 8th of February here, and the time is exactly 5:52 p.m. This is an unusual time of the day for me to be live streaming, so maybe you haven't caught a live stream before. That's if anyone comes in. But anyway, hopefully you're at least watching the replay if you're not coming in live. So let's get started. Let's get straight into it. Actually, first of all, I just want to let you know what I am doing in case you have not seen my videos before. I'm going to be using my Oracle cards. These are Oracle cards that I created. They're Animal Kingdom Oracle cards that have been combined with my Speed of Light Oracle cards. And I'll be using this combined deck of 110 cards to find the best cards for Thursday and Friday. So I'm going to pull one for each day separately, and then I'm going to pull a theme card for those 2 days as well. So we'll see what comes up. We'll let ourselves be surprised and go with the flow and the unfolding of the moments and trust in whatever happens. Whatever comes up, and if it resonates with you, fantastic. I would suggest that you take on board what does feel right and does resonate with you, and the things that seem like I'm speaking directly to you, and let the rest go. So think of this as a guide only. So let's get started. I'm looking for the best card that the majority of us need for Thursday the 8th of February 2024. So the best card for Thursday the 8th is, hi Colleen, yay! It's this, it's a Speed of Light Oracle card, and it's the Owl. Again, this card keeps coming up. Maybe we've been a bit impatient, maybe we're being a bit lacking in persistence, what would you say, dragging our feet, procrastinating. This is card 47, and it has been coming up fairly regularly for the last probably month, I would say. And it says patience, solution, question, answer, and night. And the card is called persistence. So this is reminding us again on Thursday to be patient and be persistent. Now is not the time to give up, but it's time to keep going. Now sometimes we have surges. In fact, I've noticed a lot that we have surges on our path, surges where we're surging on something and then it seems to settle and back off and slow down, and then we surge and then it backs off, depending on what it is. So we might find at the moment in some aspects or areas of our life that there is this further waiting that's required, further patience that's required, and our patience may be wearing a bit thin sometimes because maybe we've been waiting months to hear some news or something, you know, anything. So practicing our patience is important. We've got plenty of things to do while we wait. So let's be careful we're not trying to prematurely step into something that's not quite ready for us and we're not quite ready for it. We've got plenty of things to do, so let's be patient, let's see this through, and let's take action when the green light turns on and we have the time to take the action. And persistent, so let's just keep persisting through. Let's not give up on our dreams, let's not give up on our goals or whatever it is that we're moving towards. Hi Karen, welcome. So that's the Owl, and the Owl also talks about our dreams. It's sitting in a dream catcher. So keeping our dreams alive and being patient with our dreams and goals and projects, our visions that we might have that we want to bring forward into our life. Let's be patient with those, but keep the vision alive. If the vision makes sense. You know, sometimes our vision and our goals don't make sense. Like winning the lottery doesn't make sense. And so, you know, if we've got these pie in the sky dreams or visions that I'm going to be a millionaire when I win the lottery next week, and or I didn't this week but maybe next week, or maybe the week after and the week after, and then a whole year passes and we're still playing that I'll win the lottery game. We've got other things to do in life than be led by this carrot dangling on the end of a stick that is a vision or a dream or an unrealistic expectation that is going to suddenly click our fingers and make our life better. It doesn't tend to work like that for the most part. So let's drop the high fantasy, let's drop the high unrealistic goals and the high visions that are not realistic and not practical and not here and now or close to it, and let's bring our dreams and our goals a bit closer to reality. So I'm feeling that too with this energy of the persistence card. So I trust that supports you for Thursday or at this time. Welcome, Kay. So let's grab the best card for Friday the 9th of February. Friday the 9th of February, and the best card for the majority of us for Friday is this. It's an Animal Kingdom Oracle card, and it's this. It's the Stellar Cycle card. This is a featured timing card. There are 4 of these in the Animal Kingdom deck. So this has further instructions for us to pull another card, which says to take the 4th card from the top of the deck. So I'm going down from the top to card number 4, which is a Speed of Light Oracle, and it's the Sad Stag. So let's have a look at these guys. Okay, these 2 cards have come up together for a reason for Friday the 9th of February. So we're going to look at them separately and then we'll look at their relationship together. So see how this fits for you. We've got Stellar Cycle card 55, and it talks about 1 year or the long term. This card's been coming up quite a lot, probably since fairly regularly, probably since November, December, as we started looking towards what we're going to be doing for 2024 and beyond, and changes we might need to consider making in our life. So this card continues to come up. So there might still be things that we haven't sort of landed on yet in regards to what we're doing for 2024 and beyond. So this is looking at the long term, it's looking at the year. If this is happening, if this is coming up around your birthday, if your birthday is 3 days either side of the 9th of February, then this would be probably extra amplified and more powerful, or packs a bit more of a punch for you because you are actually in your 1 year transition into your new year. So it's come up with the stag, and I call this the Sad Stag because he looks a bit sad. And I've got a second stag in the Animal Kingdom Oracle cards that's a little bit cheerier. But there's nothing wrong with this stag. It's actually quite interesting when this guy comes up. It's card 49, and it says lost, help, guide, path, and discouraged. This card usually comes up when we're feeling off track or off course, like we've blown off course and we're somewhere wandering around and we don't know where we are. There might be a part of us that thinks that we've taken a wrong turn, that we're going backwards, that we've missed something, that something's not quite right about our path. Now the truth is, and you can probably feel this as I say it, the truth is that our path is always under our feet. It can't be anywhere else because it's our path, and our path has to be right there under our feet. So our body is aligned with our path for the most part, and it's our mind, in regards to this card, it's our mind that makes us think that we're on some other path, or we're going backwards, or we've taken some wrong turn, that this is not where we're meant to be. So there might be some things on Friday, or some things at the moment that we are exploring or considering or assessing about our life to make sure things are on track, or get things back on track for us, which basically means get our mind back into alignment with our body, because our body is there on our path. So let's be careful that we're not sabotaging our journey with our lower mind that is pulling us away from ourselves and away from our path and away from our life itself. Now, if things aren't right in our life, if there are changes that need to be made, or there are things that just are not in balance, or things that haven't been working for quite some time, then it's important that we're honest with what our life is and what is working and what isn't, so that we can make some changes and get things back into balance and back into harmony as needed, or back into alignment, so that I feel like this value, so we feel value and we feel our life is valuable, and we can reconnect in with that sense of purpose and meaning. That is something that's personal for us. Now, we might be, yes, on the right path and on our path because our path is under our feet, but our path might take a bit of a turn because something in our life changes, or we're faced with challenges that force us to make perhaps some changes that we need to make. So, life is full of challenges, and I think there is this sense of, are we disassociating or detaching from those challenges? Are we pretending they don't exist? Or are we facing them and turning those challenges into an opportunity? And an opportunity really to get back on track and to get back into full 100% alignment with our life, and get out of fantasy land and get out of that space of fooling ourselves or pretending that everything's okay when it perhaps isn't. It's just taking me back to that, what I was talking about the lottery goal that so many people seem to have, that I hear, and it's just so unrealistic. I really feel that these two cards are pointing to us to get out of the high fantasy visions and the high fantasy goals that are just not, that disconnecting us from our life and disconnecting us from ourselves. Let's get practical, let's get real, let's bring things into reality. Now, in regards to these two cards coming up together, then this is basically what I was just talking about with the stag, and we're looking at this over the long term. How much longer do you want to feel lost and discouraged and hopeless and feel like your life is just difficult and impossible? Do you want to keep feeling that way for another year or another 5 years, another 10 years? Maybe you've already been feeling it for 5 years or 10 years or a year or some time. So the question is I suppose, at this juncture, at this turning point, at this turn of the tide potential, are you willing to make some changes that can then align you further with whatever's important to you in the long term, to get out of this habit and out of this rut, out of this high fantasy vision or goal or unrealistic expectations that you're putting onto your life? Can you get back to basics? So how would you do that if that's something that is somewhere where you perhaps find yourself? I feel that an important step is to become more aware of what we're thinking. So pay attention to our thoughts and how realistic and practical and supportive and healthy are they? Are they pulling us away from ourselves and away from our life? Are they keeping us out of balance or keeping us in some delusional reality? So what are our thoughts doing, and how can we kick those thoughts out that are not supporting us and replace them with some healthy alternative? So getting back in charge of our thoughts might be key here. And then I'd be also making some time to really assess honestly and genuinely and rawly, brutally, where we're at in our life, and really come to terms with the truth that perhaps some serious changes need to be made. Maybe some serious changes don't need to be made, but if we can sit and assess our life as brutally, honestly as we can, then that should help give us the perspective that we need and the insight to figure out what we need to do next. So do you want to keep feeling lost and off your track for another year? And if the answer's no, then what can you do about it today? What can you do about it on Friday? How can you get yourself out of that place that you've been in perhaps for quite some time? So thank you. I trust that supports you. I'm going to pull a theme card in just a minute. Before I do, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love. Please comment, please share if you're inspired to. And if you'd prefer to connect more privately, then please send us a message through our website. So if you want to learn more about my cards, you can learn more on my website, templeofbalance.com.au. Shortly, in fact, within the next hour, in 1 hour, I'll be hosting my next card reading club. You can join right now if you want to. If you're free in an hour and you want to join us on Zoom, just all you need is a deck of cards and an open mind, and we'll be doing that for an hour. So we'll be starting that in 1 hour from now, in fact about 50 minutes. So last chance to join in if you want to. And my online art class is on in 25 hours from now, so maybe you'd like to consider joining me for that. But you can learn more about those things and everything I do at Temple of Balance on my website at templeofbalance.com.au. Okay, let's grab the theme card. The theme card will help us see the bigger picture for these couple of days. And you know, the bigger picture is so important just in general in our life. What is the bigger picture here? What is playing out? Sometimes we can't see the forest from the trees, and if that's probably connected with a bit of where you're at right now, then maybe stepping back and looking at the bigger picture might be helpful too. So the best card for the theme for Thursday and Friday, that's the 8th and the 9th of February, is this. It's an Animal Kingdom Oracle card. And it's this. It's the Fiddler Crab. The Fiddler Crab is card 46. And it says, be on guard. So this is about being on guard, but not being paranoid, keeping things close to our chest, perhaps on Thursday and Friday. We might be dealing with things quite privately, quite internally. And that might be the place where we need to figure out, are our dreams too ridiculous? You know, have we had this pie in the sky goal and vision and fantasy for 20 years, maybe for our whole life, pretty much our whole adult life, and it's just not happening? How long are we going to chase this high fantasy? So when we kind of come back to earth and we come back to the reality of our life, it can be a bit of a shock to the system in some ways, because we've lived in this high fantasy habit or been attached to that goal, that fantastical goal or vision or whatever it might be for so long that it can be a bit jarring to the system, a bit of a shock to come back down to earth, to reality, and realise that actually I may have been fooling myself here. And that is something I find that the couple of times I've been through those phases in my life, it's been something I've done quite privately, and I feel like it's really internal, an internal adjustment, an internal almost adjusting to the shock and coming back to reality, coming back to earth. So we might feel a bit withdrawn, we might feel a bit private, we might feel like we want to keep things kind of inside over these next couple of days. There's also an element with the Fiddler Crab about protection and keeping our boundaries strong, and maybe also not being careful that we're not wearing ourselves too thin, you know, keep strong within ourselves, and that might mean not spreading ourselves too thin, like spreading butter across a slice of bread and we've only got a minimal amount to go over. Let's notice if we're spreading ourselves too thin. So that might equate to feeling overwhelmed. It might equate to just taking on too much right now. Then we might want to assess that side and aspect of our life as well. So the Fiddler Crab, be on guard, is our theme for Thursday and Friday. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining me today, everyone. I trust this has supported you in some way. I really appreciate you being here. Enjoy your couple of days, and I'll be back to share with you again very soon. Take care, and goodbye for now.